Good morning, you guys. Go ahead and grab your seats. Thank you. Okay, we are out of section two. We are now in section three. And in this section, you guys will read the New Colossus by Emma Lazarus and the Statue of Liberty from Coming to America, New Life in a New Land, to understand the role Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty play regarding the immigration in America. And for our test, as we close out this section, we will be writing a narrative essay from first person point of view of an immigrant in response to the question, why was the Statue of Liberty considered a symbol of the American dream? But for today, for lesson one, in our section three, today what we're going to be learning, you guys will build knowledge of immigration, including including what the Statue of Liberty meant to immigrants in America. You guys will also summarize the text and revise the summaries to include a positive and precise vocabulary. Now we're going to go over our I can statements. I can explain who Emma Lazarus is and why she wrote a poem about the Statue of Liberty. I can identify the main idea and provide evidence such as details and examples from the text during a discussion and a written response. Okay. Now I need us to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and go with activity one. Okay, we're going to be reading about the Statue of Liberty from Coming to America, a new life in a new land. Think about, I want you guys, before we get into our reading, what I want to do is break you up into groups of 4 people and 4 groups. So I need 4 and 4. And each group will get a sentence strip with the question on it, with the prompt that your group is going to answer. And you guys are going to collect this answer and put it on your anchor charts. I'm going to give you guys the anchor charts, and I'm going to provide you with some paper. I'm sorry, your markers. Now, everybody has their question, and those questions, wait a minute, before I pass them out, I'm sorry. Before I pass them out, your group's reading focus on one of them, my group 1, your question is going to be, who was involved and what did they do? We won't know this information clearly until after we have read it. My second group, your question will be, when was it done? When was it done? As we're reading, y'all are going to have to look for that. Now, where was it done? For my group 3, where was it done? And for my group 4, why was it done? Why was it done? Now, as we're reading as a whole, even though y'all will be reading individually in your groups, as a whole, our reading focus needs to be how and why was the Statue of Liberty created? Now we're going to go ahead and break off into our groups, and I want you guys to answer the prompts as you go along, as you read. Now, everybody's in their groups, and I'm going to go ahead into my small group with my students, and we're going to read the Statue of Liberty. Go ahead, you guys. The Statue of Liberty, a gift of friendship from France. The Statue of Liberty was erected means built, erected in New York Harbor in 1886. It became a symbol of welcome for millions of immigrants. Engraved on a tablet is a poem by Emma Lazarus. Keep ancient lands, your story come, cried she, with sided lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore, send these, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Emma was the daughter of an old Spanish family in New to her own Jewish people who were suffering terribly in Europe. On the way home, a new boy shouted, "Pogroms in Russia. Read about the pogroms against the Jews." She brought a paper, and that night, Emma Lazarus began writing strong and beautiful poetry about the persecution of her people, which had been going on since the 12th century in Europe. After writing of the pogroms in 1881, she worked with refugees in America and composed the poem which you can still see on the Statue of Liberty today. We have done our writing, we've done our reading. Good job. Now I would like to ask some questions. Okay. First, I want to ask Group 1, how was the Statue of Liberty created? And tell me where I can find my evidence for this. Okay, if I go back to page 79, it was created from the people of France. They built the Statue of Liberty. That's correct. Good job. Now another group, Group 3. Why was the Statue of Liberty created? Yes, that's correct. It was a gift of friendship from France because they thought, or they knew how welcoming the United States was to immigrants that were coming in for a better life and for more freedom. Okay. Now, I want to ask Group 1, who was involved and what did they do? France was involved, good job. And what did they do? They built the statue. Thank you for that. Okay. Group 2, where was it done? Oh, I'm sorry. When? I'm sorry, not the where. I'll go get when. When was it done? It was done in 1886. That's correct. Now, where was it done, Group? Where was it done? Good job. New York. Where are we finding all this information? Okay, from what we just read on page 79 and page 80, the Statue of Liberty. Good job on that. Now my fourth and final group. Why was it done? Why did they build the Statue of Liberty? Why? Okay, thank you for that. They gave the statue as a gift from the people of France for friendship. Thank you on that. I appreciate that. Good job to all of you. Now, I want to move along. And I want us to, let's go ahead and go to activity 2. Okay, now we're going to react to the Statue of Liberty. Can I get you, Ms. Moss, to pass out the papers to everyone? This is for our summary sentences. Statue of Liberty. Okay. We're going to explain, I want to explain to you guys that a summary sentence is a brief statement of the main idea or most important points of a text and a discussion, or their understanding of a concept, idea, topic, or issue. And also, I want to add that writing a summary sentence is a way of demonstrating understanding. Now, I want you guys to work with your partner to provide details for relevant question words, and then create a summary sentence about the text. Okay, but I want to at least get through the first ones with you guys to show you what we are really doing. So make sure we got a hang of it. Now, who are we talking about during this, while we read this poem? Who wrote the poem? Okay, Emma Lazarus. Good job. Now, when did she write? Good job. She wrote a poem about who? The Statue of Liberty. Okay. When did she have time to write this poem? Back in 1883. Good job. Okay. Where? Where did she do it? Where did she write it? New York City. Good job. wanted to portray America as welcoming and inclusive, because that's what it was for her people after she learned about it. So I'm going to go ahead and write this up here. Let me ask this before I go on. Do we have a how in this? No, we don't. So go ahead and cross your how out. So a man wanted, a man told, I'm sorry, y'all. Man told her about persecution of Jewish in Europe. But she wanted to portray America welcoming and inclusive. Now, we always learn if we have a when or a where, which one do we start with first? So we start building our sentence, putting our summary sentence together. That's correct. You're going to start with your where. Then what comes after the where? When, the job. What comes after the when? What order are we going? Who, the job. And our next one, did or will what? The job is for. And last but not least, you have your why. I'm going to give you guys time enough to go ahead and write it down, and I'm going to go ahead and write mine so we can make any corrections if needed. City in 1883, Emma Lazarus wrote a poem about the Statue of Liberty because a man told her about the persecutions of her people. She wanted to portray America as welcoming and inclusive. All right. If you don't already, if you don't need to make changes, good. If you do, go ahead and make those changes now. So your ending sentence needs to read, in New York City in 1883, Emma Lazarus wrote a poem about the Statue of Liberty because a man told her about the persecution of her people in Europe. And she wanted to portray America as welcoming as welcoming and inclusive. Does everybody have that? Good job. I'm going to keep going. All right. Now, I want us. All right. Now we're going to go into our independent time. Can you pass these out for me? Everyone gets one. This is going over your transitions. I want to explain that we use transitions and transition words and phrases in our writings because they help us make connections between ideas for our readers. Also, they help us signal to the reader what information is coming. So, I'm going to read the directions to you guys. Everybody has a sheet of paper? Has the worksheet, activity sheet, I'm sorry. Okay, on page 82 that I just handed you on your worksheet is transition. It says complete the second sentence following the transition word. You guys work on that, and after that, I'll be coming around to take your papers up. Okay, everyone's through with their papers now? Good job. Now, before we close out, I want to ask some questions. Okay, in today's lesson, we learned who wrote the Statue of Liberty and why. Who can remind me of why and who? Yes. Emma Lazarus. Y'all tell me who first. Okay. Emma Lazarus did write it, but what did she write it for? Yes, she wrote it. It's like a contribute. It was like a contribution to the Statue of Liberty. And she wrote it because a man inspired her to because of the persecution that was going on. Okay, good. And how can you show me evidence to support that? Where would I go? Back to page 79. Under what story did we read? The Statue of Liberty. Okay, I'm coming around to pick up papers. Thank you guys. Have a good day.